Welcome back, everyone, to another Merge Conflict. We got a doozy this week because we're talking about some things that we already talked about, but then one thing that we haven't talked about. We got three topics that we're going to cover today or so. We'll see if we get sidetracked. But we've had a lot of excitement in and around the world of just what's new in .NET, what's going on in the world of Java for some reason. And additionally, are we just super excited to slap some new goggles onto our brainium cranium? So, Frank, let's first and foremost talk about the 1 billion row challenge. Last time we talked about this, you go back a few podcasts ago, you had it working in about 18,000 hours to process 1 billion rows of data. And I think you've come a long way, and there's a lot of ongoing competition in the space still. Surprisingly, I thought it would just be over, but some people are really excited about it still. So what happened since we last talked, Frank?
Yeah. Okay. Some follow up. Here we go. So when we were doing the show, it was early days. Like I hadn't seen anyone else's implementation, and I really just had mine, and we mostly talked about mine, and that was silly. But um, some great competitors came in. I decided to run a little bit of a leaderboard. There were a couple leaderboards going around, just seeing who could score. Everything a little bit unofficial. Most of us were just running it kind of on our dev machines and that kind of stuff, but having fun with a little bit of a leaderboard. So yeah, my baseline didn't take, what'd you say, 18 hours or whatever? That's rude. So rude of you. I was able to process 13 gigabytes of data in like 3 minutes and something seconds.
Pretty good.
Something like that. Yeah.
Pretty good.
That was the baseline. I couldn't help myself and had to implement a faster, betterer version. And I got myself down to something like 50 seconds, 50 seconds.
Wow.
And I was pretty proud of myself. I'm like, look at that. Down from 3 minutes. That's, a 6x improvement. That's pretty good. Did I do that math right? Who knows? Who cares? Um, and I posted on Twitter. I was very happy. And then someone came along on Twitter and said, that's nothing. I am so much faster than you. So Victor, I'm not sure how to say your last name, but I'm going to go with your username, Buybackoff, Victor Buybackoff, with an amazing speed. I forgot what I first measured it at, but the current version I'm measuring is 2.69 seconds to parse 13 gigabytes of data. I forget what that speed is, but that's around, I mean, what? It's 13 divided by 3. Whatever.
Yeah. It's pretty good.
Second. Couldn't be outdone myself. My 50-second one was single threaded. And we talked about on the podcast, I said I'm going to do two things. I'm going to make the algorithm itself faster, and then I'll make it multi-threaded. And so on the Twitch show, I couldn't help myself, had to make the multi-threaded version. Got myself down to 3 seconds. And then after the Twitch show, couldn't help myself a little bit more and got down to 2.68, 2.67-ish seconds on my computer. And I kind of took first place on my computer between all the algorithms, and I was pretty proud of that. I feel a little janky winning by 10 milliseconds, but I'm going to take it because it was a reliable 10 milliseconds that I could win by.
Yeah, and I think since then, on Twitter at least, what I've seen is a bunch of other people that have been spiking different things and contributing still, but doing it on their own machines and rerunning stuff. And who knows? I think someone got it down to like a second or something like that. Back on the Java one, if you looked at what you were running it on versus what they were running it on, it's, quite very different machines. So all of these numbers and things are based on the machines that you're running and different means and things like that. At least they like you standardize it, they standardize it, and other people have been trying to standardize it. So it's been fun to see what they got it down to, and they got it down to about 2.5 seconds or so, which is kind of in line. Kind of cool. Yeah.
It is, and it's fun to think like, oh well, that is kind of cool. I can process that much data in a very short amount of time. I would never want to write real code that looks exactly like this, though. This is basically the old kind of C code I used to write as a kid. That's why I fall into it naturally, but this is not the kind of code I want to write on a day-to-day basis. But it's fun, and we've all gotten to the point in our code where we're basically machine dependent. Like some people are using AVX instructions, and that only works on some machines. So you can write .NET code that is not cross-platform, that only runs on certain machines, and that's totally doable. Um, I think I'm keep the code where I kind of left it. Nice cross-platform, simple, but we're all basically at the mercy of the machines. Like my machine has a faster memory bus than the official test machine, so my results are just a little bit faster. I have more cores than the official test machine, so it's faster. It's a whole different operating system. The memory managers can be completely different, so it's hard to compare these things except for on one exact machine.
Yeah. Yeah. But it's cool. I mean, if you look at yours, it's like under 100 lines of code. That's pretty impressive, I would say, overall. Not bad.
Yeah, again, it was a very simple problem. It was aggregate a bunch of rows in a CSV file, basically. And, if it was more than 100 rows, I'd be embarrassed as a programmer. Like, it's even that number of rows, it's only that long because, like, you don't use any numerical string parsing. You write the string parsing yourself. And so that
Yeah.
therefore it's a little bit longer. Like I think the baseline of it is only like 20-ish lines of code.
Hmm. Not bad. I mean, it's a fun experiment. It's fun to see. I'm glad that a bunch of people in the community and other communities. I think I saw one for Rust, and I saw this other stuff. So
Yeah.
it's cool that I'm not going to say that we spearheaded the .NET initiative over here on Merge Conflict, but we may have pumped it on X quite good. And I'm glad other people picked it up and ran with it. So it's kind of cool to see all these things. But here's the thing: is to me, it's there's a lot of people that like mix it, like, oh, it's this language versus that language. That's not always about. It's not always about it all. You know what I mean?
No.
It's about a fun little challenge that we all have to see what kind of code, what kind of crazy code we can write. And even if at the end of the day, it's code that you never want to write again, because it's like, this is that
Mhm.
type of code that
Yeah.
is crazy optimized, but like not fun to write. Like, I'm not going to run a whole thing like this, but it is cool to see it like get down to a certain level. So I'm glad that people picked it up
Yeah.
and kind of went with it.
I just have to say, I agree with you. I was not at all interested in the Java versus .NET, the C# versus F#. I didn't want to engage in that kind of stuff at all. If you listen to me on the episode, it was always a competition against myself. It's how fast can I make the code
Mm-hmm.
versus my baseline version. I still haven't read anyone else's code. I'm very proud of the fact that I ran a bunch of people's code on my machine and was able to run it without even looking at their code and get everything set up. So I still haven't even what I call cheated and looked at how other people have done things.
That's pretty
So
cool.
it's still fun. It's still a challenge for myself. And
Yeah.
if I get in the mood, I'll try to beat my record, but I'm not really interested in beating other people's records.
Yeah. No, it's fun. It's fun to see what people did. But yeah, I agree. It's like a fun little activity. I'm glad that it picked up. And, who knows where it'll go. I mean, if you see other things out there, listeners of the
Well,
show, let us know, because Frank loves a challenge. Not me. I don't got time for this. I have no idea how to do it. I don't want to.
no, I mean,
I have zero
we
desire.
we should acknowledge there are programming competitions out there. Like there are
That's true.
things you can enter and do all this kind of stuff. It's just kind of funny that it's like the professionals do that, and this was like the amateurs playing. Like just everyone are like, let's all do a programming competition, even though we normally would never devote the time to programming competitions. Because yes, it's good to sharpen your sword, but you don't need to sharpen your sword every day. It's a bit much.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Well, any lessons learned besides just moving to multi-threadedness? Like any big takeaways of things that you did like? You're like, oh, I actually wrote a
Oh,
version. Like this would be something I could use and take back to my actual code of some sort. Maybe tweak some optimizations that you found.
one more time, .NET Trace was just a fantastic tool. So I love that that's built into .NET now. You can or something, whatever. You get the tool and you .NET Trace yourself, and it's absolutely wonderful that you can do that with any kind of program. Um, hey, micro optimization is still here to stay. It's fantastic. Like, instead of calling int parse, if I just parse things as an integer, you were, I think, making fun of me. I was storing my numbers as floating point, double precision, 64-bit floating point numbers. And you're like, Frank, do they really need to be 64-bit? Obviously not. I went really drastic though, and I actually used fixed point arithmetic, and that
Ooh.
bought me a lot. That's what got me down from 3.30 seconds down to the 2.7s ish
Oh,
area.
wow.
So just going from double precision math to fixed point integer math got me a lot. Um, Garbage collector does get in the way when you're trying to parse 13 gigabytes of data. Go figure. You don't want to be allocating, a billion rows. It's just a little too much pressure to put on garbage collector. So I stuck with struct objects for most things. Most things. Uh, dictionary stupid system collections generic dictionary is the fastest data structure on the planet. I do not know what evil tricks they play in the JIT. James, I hand wrote because I was convinced, absolutely convinced I could make this thing faster looking at the profiles. Thank you, Dr. Choice. Looking at the profiles, I was like, I can make this faster if I eliminate a couple calls to the dictionary. All
Mm.
I will handcraft my own binary tree. And I will walk the binary tree as I'm reading data in the file, and it's gonna be so fast. It's gonna walk, and it's gonna have the answer just as it hits the last byte. It's gonna be gorgeous. I coded all that up twice as slow as dictionary. Dictionary trying to
Wow.
advance dictionary insert. Oh, that stupid dictionary is so fast. So, if you ever are blaming dictionary for your performance problems, you're wrong. That thing is so fast.
That's great. That's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, those were the big ones, and then obviously multi-threading is what really it's
Does it.
you want to flood the IO bus with requests, and you need lots of processors to flood it with requests.
If you got the processors, use them all, I say.
Yeah.
No, not
And they
many
all
things
do.
do.
All the top
Yeah.
scoring ones immediately, I have my computer advertises 20 processors, so I immediately spike to
Yeah.
2000%. It's hilarious.
Let it purr. Talking about things purring. Um, well, you have a cat, but not talking about your cat. But let's talk about the Apple Vision Pro because we maybe have pre-ordered one. This pot we record on Tuesday, days before it comes out. I am torn. I'm torn all over the place now. Frank, they have started. You can venture to an Apple store and they will give you the hour-long tour of the Apple Vision Pro. Have you read
Oh,
about the process in-store demo? Have you heard about it?
uh, I heard about it. Like, I think a few people, they were demoing it a few months ago, and I think I had read a blog or something about it. But no, nothing recent. So I'm a little bit nervous because I really do want the eyeglass corrective one, and I heard that you have to go to a store for that, but I'm totally not going to go to the store,
Ugh.
especially now that it's after I've hopefully ordered it.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, no, please go on.
So you can demo it in store and try it out today. You can go
Okay.
in, do it. Now, I don't know. I think they said they had like 10 to 15 units per store or something like that, which is not that many. Now, the fascinating part is that you have to like install the app. I think it's just the App Store app or whatever. Not the App Store app, but the Apple Store app.
Mhm.
And you have to do a 3D scan of your face to
Okay.
demo the device. And the reason that, and you'll have to do it to buy it as well. And that is because they're matching your face in your head with the specific strap that they'll actually
Oh,
bundle it. So if you end up buying it online or in the store, there's this range of like all of these straps and they hand like I don't know what the box is going to look like, but I'm imagining it's like everything's the same except for like here's a person has put like a physical person is going to pick out the strap and then put it down for you into yours, signed by John,
Tim Apple.
for Frank, and like a
Oh.
handwritten note. Love
Oh,
Steve
good.
Jobs. Yeah.
What is this product?
So now
How did
that's
this
just
really
like,
get released?
that's like it's like a 10 to 15 minute process.
Oh my
And then
god.
they give you a 20-minute demo in store. They have to explain it to you
Please
to do all
God,
this
no.
stuff. And that's per person in general. Now, I was thinking also, if I get an Apple Vision Pro, can Heather use my Apple Vision Pro? Like, is her head the exact same size as my head? Like, will it make a difference?
I'm gonna say all of this is just the icing on the cake because you know what it is. It's light leakage. It's gonna
Yeah.
be, do you have the cheekbones to support it, or do you need a high strap or a low strap? Everyone's
Hmm.
face is shaped differently. And it's gonna be how much light gets in between the edges. So
Yeah.
I would say 100% she could, but she's gonna get a degraded experience compared to yours.
Yeah. So it's the strap, and then it's also, you're right, the eye suctiony things. That makes
Mhm.
sense. Yeah, we've been debating. Like, I asked her, like, should I get it? I don't know. And like, blah, blah. She's like, I'm not
Yeah.
interested. I'm like, I'm not really interested either. But I feel like if Frank gets one, I need to get one. And I don't
Well, we're
know.
gonna
You know what I mean? So
we're hosting the show in VR from now on. I thought that was the deal, the little blood pact we had made.
we could. I don't know. I'm not sure. Okay. So there are some reports. People have done it, and Gadget has a nice write up on it. So both
Mhm.
Sherilyn and Dana went to go see it. Now, really fascinating. I'll give you a TLDR on this puppy, but they broke down fit and comfort of the straps, Apple immersive video and spatial videos, the Disney Plus app, typing experience with the virtual keyboard, Frank Kruger, meditation, encountering dinosaurs, and then final ish thoughts. Now, I thought there wasn't going to be a virtual keyboard, but I guess there has to be one, right?
Oh, oh, there is. There
Yeah.
is. And it looks funny.
Yeah.
Apple finally built a 3D keyboard and it looks. Have you ever used a typewriter that had the circular buttons on them? It looks like old
Mm,
typewriter buttons to my
yeah.
eye.
I know exactly what you mean. Yes, that's what I learned to type on. So I'll be right
Yep.
at home. Perfect.
Okay,
Uh,
good.
I did. I did see a picture of it. Now, I will say this: the review of the keyboard, they said pretty good. They're surprised. They're like, "Wow, way better than we thought." Now,
Hilarious.
talking about the strap and the fit was fascinating because it seems though, even though I did the whole scan, there was tweaking involved. There was tweaking
Oh my
involved,
god.
and additionally, Dana, I'm pretty sure it was Dana on here, and Cher, they both got rid of the one strap and they went to the dual loop band. They Dana said after 10 minutes, the single loop hurt her head. It hurt. It was like too heavy, and they even adjusted it and everything. And then they put
Yeah.
the dual loop band on, and she was like, "Awesome." So every
Yeah.
head's different, right? Different hair, different things. And again, what's fascinating is you have long hair now. What happens if you cut your hair?
You gotta change your loops, I guess. I am concerned. I'm curious what the ratio is gonna be in the end. Like, is this Apple trying to, like, push their cool single loop one because it looks cooler, but is less effective than just two big straps strapping you in?
I think so. I think so. Besides that, they said everything was pretty good. Said Apple Disney Plus good, typing good, um, countering dinosaurs cool. Basically, here's what they said. They said it's the
Mhm.
best VR AR MR headset that's not an VR AR headset that they've ever tried, pretty much for all intents and purposes,
Yeah.
and is very expensive. That's pretty much their overall review, which I think aligns with what we thought it to be. But they said it was mind blowing, a mind blowing experience to quote Cher here, and uh,
But are
wild.
they using it to spatially compute? You know, that's the thing.
Mm,
Like, if it's just another video game device, I'm gonna be disappointed. If I can find a way to actually do some
yeah,
spatial computing, I'm gonna be happy, and I think it's all gonna hinge on that. Which I honestly think it's gonna hinge on app developers because Apple hasn't shown an app yet that keep saying it, sound like a broken record, but I still haven't seen the killer app for it yet.
yeah, and they did officially launch the App Store, and I did read a blog somewhere. We were complaining not too long ago that we
We
didn't
didn't know what
see
apps there were. Yeah.
exactly. So they did announce a bunch of stuff for
Good.
them. I can't find it anymore, but basically, there's going to be some apps. I
Yeah.
think it's even on the thing. So it's out there. There's going to be apps. Apps will be in the store, and there we go. Let's see. iMore, I think, has some. So they're out there. There's going to be some stuff more than what we saw. At least the deal. I don't know. I have a few days to determine what I want to do, and I'm really not sure, Frank. I'm really not sure.
Well, no, you had a couple days ago, so you made a decision, and I just hope it was the right one. Um, I'm definitely putting an order in. Um, maybe I'll return it. Probably not, hopefully, because I definitely want to try. I've written 4 really bad apps for it, and I really want to see what they look like inside
Yeah,
of it. And
yeah.
we were mentioning in the last episode, like, how do you release an app before testing on hardware? And I'm kind of like, I can't. I
I
don't think
can't
I'm
do
gonna
it in my
have.
soul.
Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna have any day one apps. So my goal is to buy it and have week 1 apps or week 2 apps kind of thing.
Yeah, yeah. Well, we'll find out. You'll find out soon. I will if
I
I
gotta
do.
say, I'm disappointed by the whole store experience. Like, a product that needs someone to personalize it for you is not a great product. I want the impersonal experience. I want the brown box to arrive at my door. That's what I like in a product.
Do you think I should live stream my purchasing experience, like actually buying it?
Yeah,
Is that
I
a
think you
thing?
should. I think you're going to be swamped with YouTubers already doing that in your store, but yeah.
Oh, all right, I'm gonna do. Oh, man, I guess I gotta do it. I get my business credit card ready. Sitting
Oh
right
my
here.
god, I should actually make sure all my Apple accounts are right.
Yeah,
I
I
hate these.
have.
I hate these morning things.
I installed
I
the
already did it though.
I installed the Apple App Store app. That's what you have to install. I wish that they would
I had the
let you.
best luck.
Yeah, there's a button to pre-order, but then it's like just get the latest version. I wish that they would let me pre do my face.
Yeah, and I've always had bad luck with their apps. I don't know if it's because I'm an app developer and I always click the wrong thing. I'm bad at UIs or I'm just
Yeah,
too silly with UIs, but I always run into bugs in their apps. So I'm hoping
and
for the best experience.
I guess I gotta. I guess I have to go in and change my payment system
Yeah,
because
probably.
it's probably not my business ones. It's probably a different one.
You don't want to be typing in at 5 in the morning or whenever we did this.
Yep. Doing it right now. I'm
Well,
going to change
I
my
don't know.
setting.
It's also a little bit fun. The spending the money isn't fun, but the whole waking up at 5 a.m. and trying to get it and then realizing the entire internet is getting it 2 weeks before you because you're not fast at clicking buttons as everyone else.
Yeah.
It's still kind of fun.
Yeah. It'll be fun. All right. 5 a.m. Let's do this. All
Yeah.
right. Last topic over here, the importance of source control, Frank Kruger. And
Oh,
I want to tell a story about
okay.
how everyone should use source control. You should just use it. And it's very
Did
important.
you did you delete some files? This sounds
No,
like
no,
is
no,
no?
no, no. This is a success story, Frank. This is a
Oh.
coming of age tale. Anyways, I've been migrating my apps, as you know, to the Maui of .net, and in the process, going through some stuff and going, and I do that all in a branch inside of source control, inside of Git. It's very important.
Mhm. Mhm.
And what's cool is that I will be migrating my source control over to GitHub Actions, and GitHub
Hmm.
Actions can also work via branches. That's kind of cool. So it's not
Yeah.
like I'm messing up my GitHub repository with a bunch of stuff because I'm implementing, in my main, it says if nothing has changed in a year. In fact,
Mhm.
there's been no commits to my skiing app for like a year plus since last ski season. Hadn't been. No, nothing happens in the summer. No skiing happening. Don't need to do
Yeah.
anything. Sits in the store, hangs out. And um, the there's actually a really cool company out there. It's called Nordic Pulse. They're out of Canada. And what they do is they are a SaaS for cross-country ski places and to
Okay.
do grooming reports. So grooming is where they make the lines and they like spread it all out. So they do GPS grooming. So they load up the GPS maps and all this stuff, and then they give you real-time grooming reports. Super cool. The
Great.
place here that I built the app for started using them last year, which means I could integrate these basically
Oh
real-time
boy.
reporting via their API, which is JSON blobs, which is great. Anyways,
Okay.
this year they changed the API because year like 2 of their business. It's time for a new API.
Yep.
A few things changed. The app somehow didn't crash because, man, I'm a great coder. Even though the schema all changed, I'm amazing. Thank you. And I was like, okay, it's still basically there, but some of the, like all the numbers of the percentage groomed are like 0, and we're not getting reports anymore. I was like, it just started grooming, so we just got snow, and contacted Steve, and Steve got back to me, and blah blah blah. Oh God, and his company, and I'm like, all right, well, I guess I got to update the app. I know what I'm doing. It snowed 18 inches here on Saturday. So I'm like, I guess what I
Okay.
know I'm doing on Saturday is just can't ski. So I'm going to just work on the app.
Love it.
So few things. I haven't touched this app in a year and several months. And a few things have changed. So one is I can no longer release an app update based on the current source code because app or Google requires you to build against a later version, a newer version of the Android SDK.
Of course. Of
Yep.
course.
Can't submit an
Yep.
update.
You were too old.
Apple, yep. Apple probably would have been okay with it, but who knows what the Xcode requirements are? Should probably bring it up to speed.
By up to
So
speed, you mean is this a Xamarin Forms app or a Maui app?
this is Xamarin Forms. Well, the Xamarin Forms and a branch for
And
.NET MAUI.
right. Back to the branch. Right.
Brought to the branch. And that's all just UI changes, a few other things changes. So surprisingly, there's not a lot of changes to the code. Very minimal UI changes, very minimal source code changes. Not a big deal. So even though to bring the stuff that I would change in this mainline branch in Xamarin, like because I'm not done with the Maui migration, right? There's a lot of testing. I need to do other stuff. I'm not ready, right? And I'm like, I'm not ready yet. Now it's double-edged sword though, because while the Maui conversion's much further along, I know that whatever's in the main line in Xamarin Forms world is still supported till May, technically. And additionally, I know it works and it's good. And if I can get it to build, it'll be good to go. It still opens up in Visual Studio 2022. I'm a happy camper, bingo bango. And I know it's like close and I know the code base, boom. The problem is, man, a year and 3 months ago, I was using like all sorts of different in-app billing stuff. I was using Mapsui, which is like their beta versions. And like, I'm like, all right, step 1, can I just compile it as is? And the answer is yes, but also no. Because of Android's new requirements, I have to update the version, and then I have to update NuGet packages that are then compiled against that. And it's like, bummer town. You know what I mean? And it's a slippery slope because once you target 13, you also have to update the billing library at the same time because they don't allow you to do that. So it's like I have to upgrade billing and I have to upgrade the version number. And then at that point, I'm like, I might as well update every NuGet inside this. So Frank, I update every single NuGet. All of them. I'm like, let's do
the
it.
burnt earth strategy.
I'm like, let's do it. Burnt earth. I'm like, let's go. Let's go. So I scorch earth and I'm totally good to go.
Scorch earth. Yeah.
I scorch it. And there's only, surprisingly, the Mapsui team did really great. I was in a early beta, and it's been like 2 years since that. I was able to integrate all of their changes in their API, very minimal, as cross-platform maps, in like 20 minutes. Like they just moved a few things around, got it all, bingo, bango, boom. I'm going to town, bam, 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 getting all the stuff in.
I'm sorry. I just got a little. You're updating their user interface. So were you updating from Xamarin Forms to Maui or just updating the Maui one?
Just Xamarin Forms. No, we're not touching the Maui stuff. It's not ready.
Maui. No, not ready.
No,
not ready.
No, it's not ready. Not ready. I got time. No.
So they had some
Xamarin Forms
changes themselves. Got it. Okay.
.NET MAUI stays in the .NET MAUI branch. There's a new branch off of Main, off of Xamarin Forms, which is 2024 season.
I was gonna
Okay.
say it's main 2, main underscore final.
Yeah, exactly. Underscore 2024. Um, and so much, I actually have like grooming.cs, which is like all the grooming reports, and I have grooming 2024. So I could like have them side by side,
Oh,
like
yeah.
for the JSON deserialization. I was like,
You
oh
know,
gosh.
it's
Ugh.
it's okay, look, you're making a joke, but this is, advice I got from nah, I John Carmack used to say this, but, I already totally forgot the advice now. No, when you're replacing a system, keep the old system running for as long as you can while you add the new system.
Yeah.
Don't delete the old system. Try to get them running side by side. And then when the new system is working, then you can delete the old system. It
Yeah.
sounds obvious when I say it like that, but you'd be surprised how many times I've had to catch myself. Don't delete the old one, Frank, until the new one is working.
Yeah.
And it's good advice. Everyone follow it.
Just put in a branch. I'm serious. So I'm like, all right, this is great. So I get it all in, up and running. I head over to my good friend App Center, good old App Center,
Mhm.
just hanging out, ready for my
Always
Xamarin
ready.
Forms applications. Is ready. And sure enough, all the latest X codes are there. All the latest
Mhm.
Android SDKs are there. Bingo, bango, getting it up. And what do you know? Within 4 hours, Frank,
Okay.
I got new apps. I got new apps in the App Store. Of course, the next day after I got new versions, I got new versions because I was like, oh, there's more
Yeah.
things I could change. So,
Okay.
anyways, it's all up there. I got it all working. I'm very excited. So, this is the importance of source control, my friends, is now I will be able to take from main, put it into my Maui branch, figure out all the, because I've figured out the naming stuff and how the stuff works, be able to easily merge back that stuff. It's very minimal changes, but I didn't have to, for all intents and purposes, do something I wasn't uncomfortable with, right? I
Yeah.
wasn't quite ready for it, right? And the great part now, maybe I never even have to worry about it for another year and a half.
Yeah. Yeah.
2 years. Who
It's
knows?
good. Um, I think, like, the way I use Git as a single person dev team mostly, like, it's so simple. I very rarely have to deal with any kind of merges or anything. But even with a single person dev team, you definitely get into the case where you're working on version 1.6, but then you want to do a little patch to your current running one.
Mm-hmm.
1.6 isn't ready to be released yet, but you still need to release and update. And I think that's like the most common problem everyone runs into with version systems, and
Yeah.
that's when you create your patch branch, and that's when you realize, oh dang, now I got to decide if I want to merge that into the 1.6 or if I want to rebase the 1.6 and
Yeah.
rewrite history, do bad things like that. I'm happy you had good Git success, but that is still. And I know everyone who's good at Git, you're all screaming, "No, it's easy. Here are the 6 commands to run." But it's still scary when you're having to do those patch updates off of your
Yeah.
like current real dev branch. I don't
Yeah.
know.
No, it's true. Yeah. I mean, main is always shipping, but then that also creates its own complications at the same time.
Yeah.
But you have that history in there. What I've done before is I've, you know, um, done things in branches, and I've shipped off of a branch. I'm like, okay, like, do I want to move this in, or do I want to just, yeah, basically, like you said, like take the changes and then re-implement it in the new branch and just have like the browser open over here, look at my changes, look at the new branch, how far
Yeah.
along things are. But luckily you have those changes all along, and it's good. And I was pretty happy. The thing that took me the longest, Frank, new Apple certs. Man, the
Gosh,
process has
every
not
year.
changed. Doesn't get better. Doesn't get better.
It hasn't, like, all these years.
Well,
Okay, I mean, okay.
it won't change ever. No.
Oh, it's funny. I look forward to it every year because I do 3 big CI/CD builds in GitHub, continuous, Coca, and iCircuit. And every year, the stupid certificate expires and all the builds fail.
Yeah.
And it's just, I know it doesn't sound like a lot, but man, it's tiring. Why can't they give
Yeah.
us like 5 year certs? Please, Apple, 5 year certs.
I know. I can. I'll buy. I'll give me 2 years. I'll give you $200 instead of $100. How about that? That's a deal. That's a steal.
I want the 6 pack of years. Okay, I want 6 years. in my
Throw out a free
savings.
one.
Yeah.
Buy 6, get 1 free. All right, well, that's going to do it
Baker's
for this
dozen.
week's Merge Conflict, Frank. 3 topics, 35 minutes. What'd you think? Was it okay? I don't know. And now you're wearing your Apple. Oh, now
I
if you're watching this on YouTube, he's got his Apple Vision Pro on. Oh my gosh.
Well,
No, not
I
yet. It
think
doesn't come till
that's
February.
the tricky thing. We've really talked up this Apple Vision Pro. This thing
We have to
either
get
be
it.
the greatest device ever, or it better be the biggest dud and ever, so we can just make fun of it for a month.
Well, but between the two of us, we'll spend more money on this single device combined than the amount of money we've ever made on this podcast.
Well, when you put it that way, James, happy Apple Day to you too.
Not to mention, for our exclusive Patreon subscribers, you can go to patreon.com/mergeconflict.fm. There's a link in the show notes. You can actually hear Frank's dilemma if he not only wants to spend the $3,500, but does he want to spend an additional $4,300 on a brand new Apple developer setup? The Apple, last week's episode, I call it the Apple Vision Pro developer dilemma, not only for all the things we talked about, but also for the developer rig setup. And it creeps in. This is the year of you giving Apple all the money, Frank. Wow.
Oh, it feels like prison. I don't know. It's like I'm paying bail.
I need to get out.
That
I
is the
need to
worst
get my
metaphor
app
I've
in the
ever given.
store. Yeah, I'll
Yeah,
cut it. Don't
that's
worry,
about it.
Frank. No, I won't. I don't cut
I'm
anything from this
sure.
podcast.
Mhm.
All right, that's going to do it for this week's. On that note, that's going to do it for this week's podcast. So I hope that you enjoyed it. You can go over to X. You can follow us there. You can follow the show on YouTube. See us. It's just us talking to each other. I've gotten so lazy that I don't even make thumbnails anymore. It's just me or Frank looking at the thing. That's it. Yeah, pretty much. And
YouTube
that's cool. You can
thumbnails.
leave comments there as well. We like that. We might use that channel later on if we want to do little things here and there. Maybe that's where I'll live stream trying to buy the Apple Vision Pro. Well, that'd be kind of cool.
Ooh,
Oh, we could dual
yeah.
stream. We both hop on. That's what we'll do. 5
I
a.m.
don't trust my internet, so you're gonna have to take the live stream. I'm just gonna focus on ordering, and then
That's
I'll
true.
I'll join you afterwards.
If Frank tries to, we'll be able to. All right, well, hit us up at all those places. We appreciate you. Share it with a friend if you like this podcast. It helps out the show. Like and subscribe, do all the things. That's going to do it. So until next time, I'm James Montemagno.
And I'm Frank Kruger. Thank you for watching and listening.
Peace.